Difficult times. Joe Roll done a magnificent job there, but this is a sign of things to come.
And Sturridge is still trying to win some people over, still trying to prove a point, so let's see how he does today.
Enjoy the first half. Tony Jones, Clark Carlisle.
The League One Oldham had the lead for all of 67 seconds last season. Robbie Simpson's effort cancelled out by Craig Bellamy.
I said last night that I almost fancy a bit of an entertaining game here today, Tony. And I know that Oldham are very up against it, that their form hasn't been the greatest recently. They've had real turmoil in the back room of the club, but you often find that it's in adversity that clubs pull together, teams pull together, and hopefully these guys will rise to the occasion.
We did get a glimpse there of Paul Dickoff, the Oldham athletic manager, minus an assistant and a head coach. Jerry Taggart and Lee Duxbury were put on gardening leave, along with the fitness coach, Paul Butler, on New Year's Eve. Not the best way to start 2013. It's currently being helped out by Tony Philliskirk, who's in charge of youth development, to the goalkeeping coach, Paul Gerrard, who was one of those who was instrumental in bringing Jose Baxter to the club, the former Everton junior and England youth international. He was a Bootle boy, a big Liverpool supporter. And Jamie Carragher's family among the Baxter family's neighbours. Daniel Sturridge, it took just 12 minutes to open his Liverpool account. Here's Croft. Was dragged wide, but it's been chased down by Mchangma. It's a difficult cross for Liverpool to deal with, and Liverpool have gone behind. Matt Smith has put Oldham in front. It is just the start. The League One strugglers wanted a miscue initially by Lee Croft, but they talk about the luck of the cup, and Oldham got it then when Mchangma was able to deliver the cross, and Matt Smith's obliged. What a start at Boundary Park.
But you always ask for a team to stay in a game as long as possible against Premier League opposition. But Oldham have really taken the game to Liverpool here. You see Lee Croft, he hooks his shot there, but you always say shoot across the goal, and that's why, because it ends up going out wide, and Mchangma puts the ball back in, and what a fantastic goal. It's a great lead from Matt Smith. He wants it more than Coates. It is an unbelievable start to this fixture.
Smith's effort helped in by Martin Skirtle, but try and take that away from Matt Smith, who put through his own goal against Nottingham Forest in the third round. That was a cracking win for Oldham. The hero on that occasion was Robbie Simpson, who got 2 of their goals. Well, is it the weekend for FA Cup surprises? Here's Suarez. Sturridge waiting in the middle. Daniel Sturridge, who took just 12 minutes to open his Liverpool account when he scored at Mansfield. Touched on it previously that Oldham's lead at Anfield last season was a mere 67 seconds.
Well, they've lasted longer than that this time. And you can see instantly that they've closed ranks, Oldham. You saw Jose Baxter was sat in that sitting midfield position to break up Liverpool's attack. And I hope that they don't sit back and invite the pressure, because Liverpool do have the quality to find gaps even in tight defences. Oldham need to continue to take the game to this Liverpool side.
Well done by Baxter. Very touched by Baxter. Liverpool looking to respond. Brendan Rodgers putting the emphasis firmly on attack here, given his starting lineup, including Barini, Suarez, Sturridge and Sterling. Maybe a chance for Skirtle and Coates to make amends. They've both gone forward for this corner kick. Baxter. Wisdom's challenge. Well, it was Sterling, it was Raheem Sterling who was across there and left his mark on him. Changma.
That's one of those tackles that 10 years ago you'd have deemed that an outstanding tackle on the halfway line, because Sterling's gone through, he's got a touch on the ball and taken the man out, but this is a tackle that you can't have anymore. You endanger the opposition by using excessive force, and Changma's really felt that tackle. I'm sure he'll run it off. He will not want to go off from this game at any cost.
Doesn't look too good at the moment for Yusuf Changma. It looks good, however, for Matt Smith. Now, doubtless the argument will go on about whether or not this will go down as a Martin Skirt lone goal, but it was a goal-bound header, wasn't it?
You usually say that if the shot is on target and it's a deflection that takes it in, it goes down to the attacker. So, in my opinion, that's Matt Smith's goal, and you're going to have to try your level best to take it away from him after the game. He'll be celebrating his goal.
Matt Smith, the 23-year-old, only 2 seasons ago was playing in the Blue Square North, one below the conference, the league where Mansfield Town play, Liverpool's opponents in the last round. Who turned 40 yesterday, his first season in charge of Liverpool. The Cup hasn't been a particularly good competition for him. This hasn't been a particularly good start by Liverpool. Liverpool manager twice getting to the 4th round with Swansea City, and the 5th round before that when he was in charge at Watford. Croft. Oh, it's come back off Jones, who had to react swiftly. And he felt there that a foot was left in. Smith doing his best to act as peacemaker, but the ball was there for Simpson to try and win.
He was fully entitled to go for that there, Robbie Simpson, because Brad Jones fumbled the shot. The effort's fired in by Lee Croft, and he's been doing that for many years, fizzing in shots from distance, troubling goalkeepers. And Brad Jones drops it, he fumbles it. So as a striker, he has every right to go in for that ball, try and seize upon the opportunity to put his side 2 ahead. And in the circumstances, he's going to be fired up to go for that ball. I think that's a really harsh call from Lee Probert. I don't think Robbie Simpson should be penalised for that. There wasn't any contact on Brad Jones, but the Ferrari kicked up by this Liverpool side has earned Simpson a yellow card.
8 minutes played, and we've had 2 yellow cards already. Raheem Sterling for Liverpool following his challenge on Changma, and now Robbie Simpson as he challenged Brad Jones. Smith has been used sparingly by Oldham until this last month or so of the season. He got a goal against Coventry City last weekend, game that Oldham lost 2-1, lost 7 of their last 8 in League One. Away by Grams, former Middlesbrough junior. Well, Oldham are forced into making the change. Changma is the player who's gone off following that challenge, and there's an opportunity for the Northern Ireland Youth International now, Carl Winchester.
I really feel for Yusuf and Changmei. He'll been looking forward to this game ever since the draw. Provided an assist for the goal, and it's an early exit for him. Such a shame.
What do you make of the way that Oldham have set up, playing Baxter just behind Simpson and Smith?
I think it's a really excellent ploy by Paul Dickoff, because he's packed that midfield area. Oldham can set up in that a bank of four, bank of three sat in front, and that'll nullify the space that Luis Suarez always seeks to exploit just in front of that back four. They'll have the bodies in there, but when they break it up, hopefully Baxter will find the space at the other end so that he can supply the ammunition for Oldham's strike force.
Wabara. And Kouate's getting in a bit of a muddle.
Really clever from Lee Croft there. He just puts his leg out in front of Robinson. He was never going to get control of the ball, never get there first. But if he just leans his body across Robinson, he can entice the contact, entice the foul. And he wins a set piece in a dangerous area. They'll look to utilise the aerial ability of Smith and Mvoto coming up from the back.
Croft assessing all the options. Currently on a season-long loan from Derby County of the Championship. Mvoto at the end of the line. It was almost cleverly worked by Oldham. Helped on again by Winchester. Burn offside.
Big Cliff Byrne's not used to being out in that left wing position. I think he got a little bit of a nosebleed up there, but he's looking to keep the ball, keep the phase of play going.
Cliff Byrne, the centre-half who joined Oldham last summer from Scunthorpe United, where he enjoyed a degree of success in this competition over the years. Major plus for Liverpool to have Fabio Barini back after injury. This is the first time that he started since recovering from the broken foot, which has interrupted his progress. Baxter with the attempt just wide. Oldham asking plenty of questions.
Yeah, that's the second problem that Jose Baxter can cause. Not only does he come off in the hole to get the ball off the midfield and maybe feed the strikers, he feeds off Smith's knockdown. Sitting in that hole that Luis Suarez usually occupies for Liverpool. Getting on the knockdown is a fantastic strike.
Robertson's push. A really positive run by Jack Robinson, who was Liverpool's youngest ever Premier League debutant at the age of 16. Sterling today is their youngest FA Cup debutant at just 18, younger even than Michael Owen in his early days with Liverpool. Croft to the byline. Was rattled against Robinson's shins. Lee Croft, who did have a spell with Oldham when he was a junior at Manchester City. Now Manchester City have provided another youngster, Luis Wabara, who is on loan from the Premier League champions. The FA Cup is made for players like Robbie Simpson and Matt Smith. He's a prolific goalscorer in the non-league with Droylsden and also Solihull. Sterling. Suarez losing out. Baxter. Wabara. Here's Sturridge. Daniel Sturridge, Liverpool's first January recruit. On again by Wabara.
It's good defending again from Jack Robinson. He's going to need to be on his game today, as will Andre Wisdom. Because of the aerial threat of Matt Smith in the box, they're going to need to make sure that they cut the problem out at source and stop those crosses getting into that danger area.
Robinson and Wisdom, both in the Liverpool youth team who reached the FA Youth Cup final 4 years ago. Here's Suarez, allowed to go a long way. And Suarez has a second chance and obliges with Liverpool's equalising goal. Yet again, Luis Suarez has come to Liverpool's aid. It's been a real struggle for them early on, but Oldham backed off, and now they've been punished by the Uruguayan.
Typical Suarez. It's outstanding ability that this man has got. Liverpool have not been in the game, but you see he's running with the ball. He's looking for an option. He holds his arms out. It's like, where is everyone? He looks to bounce the ball off Sturridge. Gets a deflection that is quite fortunate, but then when that comes back to his feet, he just slots it into the corner. No panic, no blazing over the bar, just very calmly collected, slots it into the corner, and Liverpool are back in the game.
Luis Suarez with the equalising goal, his 21st this season for Liverpool. And there was all the controversy about his goal at Mansfield in the third round. He just had to sit back and admire his determination to try and make something of that.
Controversy that I feel was undeserved as well, Tony, because it's not Luis Suarez's job to call situations like that. The ball bounced quickly off his hand, and then the referees have to spot those offences. And also, it's the referee's interpretation. Luis Suarez is waiting to see if the referee calls it as a purposeful handball or whether it was accidental. And if they don't call it, he'll take the goal.
Didn't really help his cause, however, did he, when he spoke to the South American media, suggesting that he did take the odd tumble in the penalty area to try and win his team an advantage.
These are all things that contribute to him being viewed as almost a pantomime villain now. You hear his first touch on the ball here today, the Oldham fans were booing him. They've got no reason to boo Luis Suarez. But it seems that it's an image that will stick.
What a buy he's proved to be for Liverpool, having joined them during the January transfer window back in 2011 from Ajax of Amsterdam. Ball pressing against the arm of Coates.
It's a shake of the head from Lee Probert, but I'd love to see this again. Oh no, definitely off the chest, off the pecs of Coates. But the angle for the players, the attackers were seeing that, it looked like it did brush his arm.
Wabara. Now Croft. Helped away by Joe Allen. Vota will get there ahead of Sturridge. Sterling, having been cautioned already, just has to be careful now.
You see the diminutive Sterling physically getting the better of Voto. I'm sure that won't happen on too many occasions today. Voto, an absolute colossus of a centre-half. Liverpool have to be very wary when he steps forward for set pieces like this.
Suarez losing out to Weslowski. Robinson taking on Wabara. Sturridge. And now Sturridge has suggested that he was elbowed there by Cliff Byrne.
Now, if Lee Probert saw that, he's got a big decision to make here. It's outstanding skill by Sturridge, and he feels that Cliff was a bit too physical with him. But look at this for a reaction. You can't do that nowadays. You can't take the matters into your own hands. You can see that Cliff is putting a little bit of extras in there, but you can't raise hands to face both guys at fault.
Lee Probert has already had a word with Cliff Byrne. As you say, an uncompromising figure at the back for Oldham, as he has been throughout his career in the Championship previously and also now in League One. Two captains called together.
I must say that's probably sensible refereeing from Lee Probert there. Nobody wants to see red cards early in a game. And it was a bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Suarez has been caught by Wabara.
And I'm sure you'll see the book out here. Definitely. Wabara's never going to get there, but he's going to engage Luis Suarez. He doesn't need to go off his feet here. He can continue to push him away from goal. But now he concedes a free kick in an exceptionally dangerous area, especially when you've got Luis Suarez with his quality and the form that he's in.
Skirtle forward with Coates. And by Henderson. Liverpool have the advantage. Now ruled out for an offside. It may have just brushed against Suarez then.
Oh, it's a tight call. Looks like Matt Smith at the back post there. When that free kick is taken, is Luis Suarez offside? See, it's so important that you keep your defensive line high, stay strong. But when you're round the back post and players are running off your shoulder, you just feel like you have to go in with them. You can't leave them over your shoulder. Matt Smith starts to drop back. I'm sure he's played Luis Suarez onside there.
Steve Charles is the assistant on the far side. Here's Sturridge. Sturridge doing his bent to Thomas Wabara. Well, had the ball not hit Luis Suarez and gone straight in?
Well, it would definitely have stood. They're not interfering with the play. But this is what I like about Daniel Sturridge. He offers that threat off the shoulder of centre-halves. You see a long ball going through 40 yards. He doesn't get the first one, but then he uses his energy and his drive, his desire to chase down Wabara, harry him, win the ball back, and then cross it back into a dangerous area. He's got so much ability.
Sturridge signed from Chelsea for 12 million. Liverpool may be looking to sign or re-sign Tom Ince from Blackpool, and certainly Felipe Coutinho, the Brazilian international from Inter Milan, the 20-year-old. That is ongoing. Liverpool hoping to confirm that tomorrow. They will require a work permit for Coutinho. Jala. Now Wisdom.
I think that may be one area where Oldham might get caught short today, because they're playing those three midfielders quite narrow to congest that central midfield area. Both Robinson and Wisdom are inclined to overlap as fullbacks, and that might result in Grounds and Wabara getting overloaded. Need to make sure that they shuffle that midfield line so that they get some support.
Launched forward by Byrne. Simpson. Ambitious by Baxter. It is extraordinary the way that Oldham have been able to perform in the FA Cup, given their league form currently. They're just 4 points clear of the relegation zone. And only 3 teams have scored fewer than their 28 goals. One of those, the bottom club Hartlepool, have managed just 20.
It's amazing how the FA Cup can just release the pressure for a side. You know, you've got those weekly toils of the league game where you're desperate for points. But when it comes to the FA Cup, the expectations are gone, the pressure is lifted, and the team's free to perform how they should and how they could in the league. And Paul Dickoff will be hoping that performances like this will inspire them going into the day job of League One football.
With only 3 home wins in League One all season, only 1 in the last 7.
I don't know if you could hear them when Andre Wisdom was defending in the corner. He chased Robbie Simpson in. You could hear, don't foul, don't foul, don't foul. And they're the words coming from Jamie Carragher warming up on the touchline, and that's the benefit, the impact that having those experienced guys in and around the squad can give. Just that coaching to the younger players, educating them in what to do in certain situations. Fantastic man to have about the club.
There's also been the argument about Aston Villa in the Premier League this season, hasn't it? So many young players who've been brought in by Paul Lambert who haven't really got that experience alongside. No Richard Dunn. Shay Given, of course, has been overlooked throughout. Suarez. It's come right the way through to Sterling. And that was a tidy save by Buzanis.
It's excellent attacking play from Liverpool. Yet again, the ball breaks to Suarez. You see the quality of his pass. Intricate one-touch play by Barini. And Sterling should do better there. He's got the whole goal at his mercy on his left foot. Didn't show the accuracy and composure of Luis Suarez, but that will come for him. He's a fantastic talent.
Sterling was a promising junior at Queen's Park Rangers before Liverpool took him to Merseyside, aged just 16. Kozlowski. Now Croft. In by Wabara. question, Curtis has struggled to make an impression in his time at Liverpool, having been the young player of the tournament at the Copa America in 2011, tournament which was dominated by Uruguay, and ended up with Luis Suarez being the player of the tournament as well as the top scorer for the eventual winners.
You often find that it can take players a while to adapt to come into English football, and that's not often just about the football itself. You know, it's a real upheaval in lifestyle, in culture, in settling, in areas, learning language. There can be many more factors than just getting to grips with a new team, a new squad, that can affect a player's performance.
Baxter with the back here. Suarez. Suarez just losing his footing there. There was a lot of snow in the northwest again on Friday, 6 inches or more. The Football Association gave Oldham their protective tent to put over the pitch, knowing that this was one of the games assigned for live television coverage in the United Kingdom as well as the rest of the world. Oldham still needed a few volunteers on Saturday to try and make sure the pitch was clear, and perhaps more importantly some of the areas outside the ground.
I think it's good that the FA give that support as well, especially in the current economic climate. You see clubs like Oldham having to make dismissals and make cuts. They need all the help that they can get to make sure that they benefit from fixtures like this.
Oldham also had some further assistance last week from Manchester City, who allowed them to train at their indoor complex because their own training pitches were frozen.
I wonder if they'd do the same for Manchester United.
I think Manchester United's facilities are probably on a par.
It's hypothetically speaking, Tony.
Here's Wabara of Manchester City. Hasn't missed a game since he arrived at Boundary Park on loan in September. Kozlowski. Baxter! Terrific effort by Jose Baxter.
Well, it was a rare mistake from Luis Suarez. I think he lost his footing again when he tried to toe poke that ball back to Robinson. But when the ball arrived at Baxter's feet, you could hear the crowd urging him to shoot. And that's why he's got a hammer behind that right foot of his. Just whistles by Brad Jones's post.
Established himself as a real favourite with the Oldham Athletic support this season. Skirtle's come off second best in the collision with Smith.
Both players leading with their arms there, both contacting with the forearms. Skirtle making more out of it, but I think it's Matt Smith who's actually come off bloodied from the battle. But you have to expect that when you come up against big 6'3" centre forwards like Matt Smith. It's going to be a physical tussle. But I know that Skirtle's more than up to that challenge.
Martin Skirtle, the Slovak who knows all about the FA Cup. Made his debut in a tricky tie for Liverpool against Havant Waterlooville 5 years ago now. This team from a lower league to beat Liverpool, one of your former clubs, Burnley.
Yes, at Turf Moor. Was it an own goal?
Jimmy Traore, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Turn in the 6-yard box, I seem to remember.
Sadly, I think that was a year before I turned up at Turf Moor, but we created a few happy memories of our own.
reaching the Premier League and, as you mentioned before, enduring the disappointment of defeat in a League Cup semi-final. Sturridge, he has got a magnificent record in the FA Cup. Scored on his debut for Liverpool and before that for Chelsea and Manchester City. 9 goals he's got in the competition. Rabada with the chance to advance. Simpson fully stretched, and Liverpool have been at times early on.
Now, this was fantastic play from Oldham right from start to finish. You can see Paul Dickoff's got them almost a full court press on Liverpool. They're not allowing them any time on the ball to build attacks from defence through midfield. And when they intercept the ball, it's great counter-attacking play. But unfortunately, Robbie Simpson, like you said, was at full stretch, unable to get a clean strike at goal. But adopting a tactic like that will take its toll on this side. As the match progresses, they will have to take periods of rest and maybe just sit that bank of 4, bank of 3, and let Liverpool have 5 or 10 minutes possession while they get a breather.
Simpson managed 2 in 4 minutes at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest in the 3rd round. Forest of the Championship beaten 3-2 after Oldham had seen off Doncaster Rovers in the 2nd round. And they trailed in that one after only 4 minutes. The adventure began at Kidderminster, where they won 2-0. Christian Montagno was one of their goal scorers. He's an absentee for Oldham at the moment. He's out for the best part of 2 months injured. Given away by Robinson. Baxter. Baxter the first to hold up his hand of apology. Pass that was intended for Wabada. Never looked like reaching his intended target. Bota. Under pressure by Sturridge. Buzanis with the free kick. Helped away by Coates. Sterling. Baxter. Now Grounds.
There's nothing worse than taking a ball to the head, but especially not when it's as cold as it is. Barini's taking one straight in the ear there. It's only one worse place, I think, for a footballer to be struck by a ball at pace. He'll have fuzzy vision for a couple of minutes.
Mourinho has been on the bench for Liverpool in their last 2 Premier League games. As a watching brief today for both Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher. Mourinho's been out since last October with this broken foot. Robinson. Simpson slow to release the ball. First time that's happened this week either, is it? In the fun and games at the Liberty Stadium in the League Cup semi-final second leg between Swansea and Chelsea this past week. Skirtle. Allen. Groans with the interception. Baxter to try and get Oldham moving again, and that's a terrific pass to search out Simpson. Croft is in the middle, joined now by Smith.
It's an excellent counter-attack from Oldham, and it all starts again from them congesting that midfield. Liverpool have got no space there, just in behind Daniel Sturridge. They're trying to thread intricate passes, but it breaks down. What a great pass from Baxter to release Simpson. It's another opportunity for them to threaten Liverpool's goal.
Now by Coates. Hoisted forward once more by Croft. And Bota's there.
The Oldham do possess the aerial advantage over this Liverpool side. They've got Mvoto, they've got Byrne, they've got Smith. And Brad Jones isn't the most commanding of goalkeepers when crosses come into his box.
Could be an extended run for Brad Jones in Liverpool's goal. Pepe Reina is on the injured list currently. Spanish international has a hip problem. He's also had nose surgery this past few days. Flag raised again for an offside, this time against Sturridge. As the ball ricocheted around on the edge of the Oldham penalty area.
It's a real fine line between composure when you're defending and taking chances. And that pass into Cliff Byrne there was taking too many chances. Sturridge had taken up an excellent position. It closed off the pass to the goalkeeper. And that meant that someone from Oldham needed to put the boot through the ball and just avert the danger. But when it came to Cliff Byrne, he had nowhere to go with it. And they were nearly caught out.
Paul Dickoff, who enjoyed playoff success with Manchester City when they were in the third tier of English football. Trying to come back against Gillingham, where they were 2-0 down, drew 2-2, and then won a penalty shootout.
It's another classic play by Skirtle. The old boy's trick of saying that I'm injured when I was actually the aggressor in the challenge. He and Coates have got the hands full today with Matt Smith. It's causing all sorts of problems. We're barely at half-time.
Into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Minimum of 3 extra minutes. Smith is there again. And Jones wasn't prepared to take any chances.
And quite right, he shouldn't. If you're unsure as a goalkeeper, you're the last line of defence. Any mistake in your judgment will cost your side a goal. You often see keepers tip it round the post, and they have to. They've got to be sure. And if they're uncertain, just make sure it's away from danger.
Miscue by Grounds. Now he's coming back from an offside position anyway. Jonathan Grounds, who made his debut for Middlesbrough in the Premier League against Liverpool 5 years ago. A Liverpool team that included Rayner and Carragher and Gerrard. Bill Jones, the current Liverpool goalkeeper, of course, once of Middlesbrough as well. It's been a bit of a struggle, hasn't it, for Henderson and Allen to get into this.
They've had a real battle on their hands, and that's because they've got no space in that midfield area, not like they used to. They're used to outnumbering the opposition, being able to find pockets of space to pop the ball about. Not today.
Really appreciating the driven clearance by Jones to try and get Oldham on the back foot just before half-time. Knocked away by Mbota. Croft. It is swiftly closed down, as is Robinson. Joe Allen. Backstep. Simpson. Wabada. Oh, it's come to Croft. They've got a second goal just before half-time, and yet again it's Matt Smith. Liverpool struggling to clear yet again, and for the second time in this first half they've been embarrassed by Matt Smith. There seemed to be no danger. The cross from Wabada was poor, but Oldham have still been able to take advantage.
And Liverpool are going to have 2 gripes with this goal. The first one is Daniel Sturridge thought he was fouled on the halfway line. He will have remonstrations about that, but second of all, and for the second time in this game, Brad Jones fumbles a real easy cross into the box. And it's seized upon by this Oldham attacker. Matt Smith will think it's his birthday. He'll not score an easier goal, but it is no less than this Oldham side have deserved. Not only have they contained Liverpool, but they posed all sorts of problems going forward. And what an outstanding time to score just before half-time.
What a time to score, and what a cup tie it's proving to be. Oldham Athletic finishing the first half just as they started it. Matt Smith, who put them in front early on, a lead which was cancelled out by Luis Suarez with his 21st goal of the season. Liverpool furious.
We'll see you post-game. Here's the second half call. Tony Jones and Clark Carlisle.
Incredible opening.
Liverpool looking to hit Oldham instantly after the restart. I don't see Brendan Rodgers as a hairdryer treatment type manager. but I'm sure he'll have made some coaching points. And what I would have suggested is that they have to move the ball wide. We have to see more of Barini and Sterling out wide in this game. And immediately, getting the ball out wide open creates the first chance of the second half.
Simpson again making a real nuisance of himself, putting pressure on Robinson. More for Smith, of course, and he's got a hat-trick. Not going to be easy for Liverpool to defend this Oldham free kick. And you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of a worldwide television audience, but Joseph Baxter's done just that.
That's not one for the show reels. You mentioned it in the first half, how this ground looks very slippy after all the melted snow. Chelsea Baxter's feet giving way under him. I'm sure there'll be a wry smile on his face about that one.
Certainly will be if Oldham Athletic can keep this 2-1 advantage. Winchester. Northern Ireland international on as a first-half substitute. It's a testing cross, and Oldham have got a third goal. It's beyond belief. Reece Wabara, two of the Oldham youngsters combining. They really are in dreamland. They've got no backup, but they've had a spirited performance throughout on the pitch. And Reece Wabara, on loan from Manchester City, has got Oldham's third.
Well, this is the best start that Oldham could have dreamed of. It's great work by Winchester, wrong foot in Sterling, great skills on the ball. And then he gets out wide, hangs one up to the back post that you'd used to see someone like Matt Smith on the end of, but it's Reece Wabara making the back post as an overlapping attacking fullback. And it's a fantastic header off the underside of the bar. Brad Jones had no chance. What a brilliant start to the second half of this Oldham side.
And yet, Liverpool could have been level. That chance for Fabio Barini at the other end, just before Reece Wabara, his second goal in the FA Cup this season for Oldham Athletic. The 21-year-old, the right back on loan from Manchester City, scored in the 3-1 success over Doncaster here in the second round at the start of December. Soon be time for Steven Gerrard. Stuart Downing also warming up now. You know what the Liverpool skipper can do when he drags his team up by the bootstraps. Most famously, of course, in that FA Cup final at Cardiff against West Ham United when Liverpool were heading for defeat. And the skipper thundered one in from 20 yards or so and made it 3-3 and took the tie into extra time and a penalty shootout in which Liverpool prevailed. And now they've got a big job on to try and keep their place in the FA Cup, to take this to a replay even. One back by Weslowski. On again by Simpson. Wabara. Croft. Voto will get that ahead of Suarez. So many spin-offs for Oldham Athletic because of the revenue that this FA Cup run has produced for them already. Minus a couple of their regulars as well. Given away by Mboto. Cross from Sterling had drifted out of play.
Here we see it again. Winchester's hung one up. Jones, he can't come for it. Even the most confident keeper in the world wouldn't want to come through bodies to collect that. But Reece Wabara at the back post. Out jumps Robinson. It nestles in the far corner. And I don't want to sound like Oldham have been looking in this tie. They've played fantastically well so far. And they've been far more clinical than Liverpool, and their attacking play has been far more accurate.
And they're through again. Baxter denied by Jones. Knew exactly what he wanted to do then, Jose Baxter. Just not enough lift on the attempted chip over the top of the Liverpool goalkeeper. Well, at times this season, Paul Dickoff must have thought that he got his hands tied behind his back, trying to assemble a squad which is good enough to stay in League One, given the financial restraints he's under. There's even a debate at the moment over whether or not Oldham are in a position to maintain their centre of excellence. Costs them £200,000 a year. The FA Cup run surely will ensure that they can keep it going for another 12 months or so. In the last round, 5 members of the Oldham squad had come through from that centre of excellence. But they've had to mix and match. They've had to go elsewhere to borrow the likes of Wabara. Weren't able to keep hold of Matt Derbyshire, the former Blackburn Rovers striker who's been on loan from Nottingham Forest and who's contributed 6 goals in the league this season.
Well, it's almost a false economy for these smaller clubs to not have an academy. It's what they need to do. They need to bring through their own talent so that they can profit from the sale of that talent and keep the club alive. But if you just haven't got the cash to outlay on the centre of excellence or the academy in the first place, then their hands are tied. In a real tough position.
Smith again pointing the way forward. In by Baxter. Vota was out jumping Wisdom. Wisdom. Done again by Joe Allen. Here's Suarez. Barini. Sterling goes down rather easily under the challenge from Winchester. Luke Herbert unimpressed.
But we see again all of Liverpool's attacking players are within the width of the 18-yard box, and that's what Oldham is set up to defend against. See, Suarez, Sterling, Barini, Sturridge, all of them within 15 yards of each other. They need some width to their attacks.
With Croft. Sterling, who picked up that yellow card in the first half.
Now, you can always tell a lot from players' instant reactions. And I know that Carl Winchester was worried about this. You see his hands up. He turns looking at the referee, unsure of whether that was going to be given or not. But he tried to pull out of the tackle.
So Liverpool making a double change here. Fabio Barini goes off, as does Andre Wisdom. Stuart Downing on alongside Steven Gerrard. A double change after only 10 minutes of the second half. Well, when we saw the Liverpool lineup this afternoon, we thought that it was going to be adventurous and attacking, given that Suarez was in there with Sturridge and Barini and Sterling, but it simply hasn't happened for them. Gerrard. Sterling.
Once again, Tony, have a look at the picture. You have Sterling coming inside. You have Sturridge and Suarez within 10 yards of the goal. You have Steven Gerrard running through the centre of the goal. There's no width to Liverpool's play. And Oldham just keep closing ranks, nicking the ball off them and counter-attacking with quality and with pace.
Another extraordinary scoreline and what has been another extraordinary weekend for the FA Cup. Is Suarez. Liverpool with a chance to push Coates and Skirtle forward. Here's Skirtle. Skirtle allowed to advance a long way. Suarez. Effective block by Grounds. Bit of sustained pressure at last from Liverpool, having made that double substitution.
It's a great block from Grounds because Suarez again was on the spot to seize on the loose ball. But Matt Smith's going to have to defend better on this corner.
Gerrard with the corner kick. Jabbed away from Coates. Baxter getting in the way of that follow-up attempt. Sterling. Now Henderson. Winchester. Well, Winchester showing his adaptability. Can play as a left back or on the left side of midfield. One of those that Oldham were able to scout cheaply from Northern Ireland. They arrived in England from Linfield. Sterling. On again by Gerrard. Henderson. Sturridge. Away from Mboto. Suarez. Here's Gerrard. It's a fantastic block by Byrne. Joe Allen. And that's easy enough for Buzanis.
It's a 5-minute period of bodies on the line stuff. And this is what Cliff Byrne's been doing for years. If you had to rely on anyone as your last line, Paul Dickoff will be very happy that it's Cliff Byrne.
Suarez offside. Going back to Cliff Byrne, he played in some big ties in his time with Scunthorpe when Portsmouth were in the Premier League, and Chelsea, a couple of games against Manchester City as well in the competition. Not short of the nous and the know-how when taking on opposition from the top flight.
Well, they're showing that today. They've performed excellently, Oldham. I mean, that's the first time that Liverpool have had any sustained pressure in the entirety of the game. And that's only been for a period of 5 minutes after Liverpool have changed up their formation, which I'm still not entirely sure what they've changed to. I think, has Henderson gone to right back, or is that 3 at the back with him pushing on?
It's very much as though he's adopted Wisdom's right-back position with the opportunity to get forward wherever he can. Liverpool this season, as it was to a degree with Kenny Dalglish in the past 18 months or so, it's a question of 2 steps forward, 1 back. Brendan Rodgers still trying to put his stamp on the Liverpool team. This is a game they would have anticipated to be a little bit easier than it's proved to be.
It's unfortunate there for Oldham. See Veslowski breaking up a Liverpool attack yet again. Baxter threading the through ball to Lee Croft, who hasn't got the mobility that we saw of him a few years back at Norwich, but he still has the quality to deliver and the desire to close down. They're going to need that, Oldham, for this last half an hour.
Sturridge. Now Sterling. Helped away again by Mvoto.
And Jordan Henderson is naturally more attack-minded than Andre Wisdom, so he will forage down that flank.
Deflected behind for another Liverpool corner. Whipped in by Downing. Goalkeeper couldn't get there under pressure from Suarez. Buzanis, the Australian, who was a junior at Liverpool.
He's appealing for a free kick, and you can see Luis Suarez does jump into him. The criteria is that you're going for the ball, but if Suarez is turning his back on the ball, looking away, I think you could say that he's impeded Buzanis there. Although I do personally feel goalkeepers are far too protected nowadays, apart from my own.
Smith again, happy to put himself about. Buzanis, who reached the FA Youth Cup final with Liverpool back in 2009. They lost out to Arsenal. Jack Robinson and Andre Wisdom were teammates at that time. Henderson. Gerrard. Downing, one of Liverpool's scorers when they defeated Oldham 5-1 at Anfield in the 3rd round last season. Robinson. Last week we had the snow, now we've got the wind and the rain. Apologise for the picture disturbance, but the weather conditions have worsened considerably. Of almost biblical proportions. Park is one of the highest grounds in the country on the M62 on the way over the Pennines from Lancashire into Yorkshire. Joe Allen. Downing. Suarez. Jumped to safety by Wabana.
It's great defending from Jonathan Grounds there. Talking to his fellow defenders to trap their runners. He'll take down in, shows him inside and into bodies. Kozlowski's over to take the ball off Downing's toes. And yet another Liverpool attack breaks down.
Sturridge. Suarez. Lovely turn by Luis Suarez. Gerrard! It's another magnificent block. It's Joseph Baxter who got in the way of the attempt by the Liverpool skipper.
Yet again, his body's on the line by Oldham, and the least you'd expect in this circumstance. It's a fantastic turn by Daniel Sturridge, and I've seen those given. But there, Joseph Baxter, just getting anything that he can in the way to stop Steven Gerrard, because you know Steven Gerrard will hit the target in that situation.
Conditions have worsened. Boundary Park known as Ice Station Zebra. It's a term coined by Joe Royle when he was in charge of Oldham Athletic. It was a very different Oldham in those days, a team who played in the top division in England. They played in the first division, they played in the Premier League, and they got to an FA Cup semi-final. Semi-final replay, wasn't it, when they were minutes away from winning against Manchester United at Wembley. Mark Hughes getting the equaliser. The rest, as I say, is history. Oldham missed out, and the spiral started, a downward spiral.
In the days of Andy Ritchie, legend around these parts.
Suarez just couldn't work the ball beyond the reach of Buzanis.
I think Kozlowski thought this ball was going out, but even so, he was hesitant to make the challenge, because Suarez was in between him and the ball.
Downing. Sense that the remainder of this game is going to be played in the Oldham half. And the hands were around the chest. Can Liverpool claw their way back? In by Downing. Came away off grounds not once but twice. Joe Allen just losing his footing. Simply isn't any outlet for Oldham, is there?
No, and I doubt that they'll change that. Might lead to a few difficulties, because when you're constantly under pressure, you need your strikers to hold the ball up. But the way that Oldham are defending, they can't clear the ball with any quality.
Robinson. Now Gerrard. Just managing to put the brakes on before he hurdled the advertising board behind that goal. Skipper doing his best to open Oldham up. Difficult pass to execute, wasn't it, given the slippiness of the surface and the way the ball is going to zip off it now.
Once that ball bounced, I think it was incredibly unlikely that Stuart Downing would get on the end of it to any kind of positive effect. But trust Steven Gerrard to put the ball in the sixpence. If I had to call on the cavalry, then I don't think there's anyone else in world football that I'd rather have to call on than Steven Gerrard.
Liverpool will be calling on John Joe Shelby shortly. Gerrard and Downing, the first two on a double substitution by Brendan Rodgers. Jab forward by Wisłowski. Back step. Wasn't far away.
It's the third time that Jose Baxter's been able to unleash his right foot. He's just getting closer and closer, just a couple of yards wide that time.
Baxter doesn't drive, he's decided to stay in the northwest. Oh, there's a problem now for Liverpool, and Coates has just about managed to get the ball away from Smith.
Needless booking for Matt Smith, but Coates got himself into all sorts of trouble there. Just labouring on the ball, not passing it off. Smith closed him down, hustled the ball off him. And I was intrigued to see if this was a handball by Coates. But that, you're never going to get away with that, Matt. It's always a booking.
Third and final change then for Liverpool. John Joe Shelby brought on. He's on in place of Raheem Sterling. Shelby. Nice Sturridge. Winchester.
Really good play by Robbie Simpson in that last Oldham counter-attack. So when the ball goes up there, they need to retain possession, slow the game down. They can't have the ball being cleared up to the strikers, them losing possession, and then another wave of Liverpool attacks. So just slowed the ball down in the middle of the park, waited for support to come. And that allowed Oldham to build up a little bit of play, a little bit of passing and possession on Liverpool, and see out a couple of extra minutes.
Steven Gerrard increasingly irritated with Lee Probert, the referee. Robbie Simpson, at the moment, happy to take a breather. He was Oldham's two-goal hero against Nottingham Forest to the Championship. It's Matt Smith who's done the job for them against Liverpool. They don't mind the rain. Oldham have been admired for their ticketing policy and the fact that they offer season tickets to youngsters for just £10, but maybe those seats are underneath that bit of the stand, which is getting soaked at the moment.
I was going to say, I'm not sure they don't mind the rain. I think it's just they're used to it. It's just a way of life up in that part of the world.
Third highest ground in England, behind West Bromwich Albion and Port Vale. It's posted a plastic pitch, didn't it? And it was ripped up when Oldham took their place in the First Division. They were founder members of the Premier League as well. How times change.
And was it Ian Marshall with his flowing locks?
Ian Marshall, yep, those were the days. Mark Milligan, part of that Oldham athletic team as well. I have to admire the job that Paul Dickoff has done with such limited resources. He said on Friday that there's always one shock in every round of the FA Cup, but there's been more than one this weekend. Bookmaker would say that the odds were definitely against Oldham Athletic, given what's gone on before. But it's not over yet for Liverpool. Oldham in the shadows of Manchester United and Manchester City, just 9 miles away from Greater Manchester. But if it stays this way, it will be Oldham who'll be making all the headlines on Monday morning.
And it'll be a blessing and a curse for them. because their league form has been so bad of late, yet they pull out a performance like this that is a high quality, it's composed, everyone doing the jobs that are required of them. People will be asking, are we being sold short on a week-to-week basis?
Shelby. Going back to that point, well, they've lost 7 of their last 8. They've picked up just 1 point. James Shelby, of course, has seen it at both the top and the bottom. Started out as a 16-year-old with Charlton Athletic. Still alone at Blackpool as well in the Championship.
Got bags of potential, John Joe Shelby.
Well, that was the moment for Smith. And that could have been the hat-trick.
Oh, Smith rises fantastically well here, yet again. Beating the Liverpool defence in the air, goes up with Skirtle. Robbie Simpson working on the shoulder of Coates. I think he had more time than he realised. A little bit more composure, he might have been able to take that down. And that was a chance for him to sign off with a goal.
Simpson now being replaced by Dan Taylor. 19-year-old striker in his first season, a former Newcastle United junior. Started for the first time for Oldham when they lost at Notts County on Tuesday evening in League One.
That shows Paul Dickoff's intent. He's not going defensive. He still wants to retain that attacking edge to his side. He'd have definitely been forgiven for bringing another midfielder or an extra defender on, but he's having none of that. And I'm sure these Oldham fans are delighted.
And there's still talk at Oldham about the phantom goal scored by Ian St John 51 years ago when these teams met at Boundary Park in the FA Cup. It was a game that Liverpool won 2-1, but many have suggested subsequently one effort of the 2 goals scored by St John didn't actually cross the goal line. No arguments here about the value of Oldham's advantage. Shelby. Downing. Oh, it's come away from Bouzanis, and Suarez is following up. Misfortune that befell Brad Jones in the first half has now almost affected Dean Bouzanis.
It's almost a carbon copy. Stuart Downing does ever so well shooting through the legs of grounds.
Oh, it's back off the post and it's gone in. Joe Allen has scored. Liverpool back in this now. Bouzanis managed to get a hand on that. It's Allen's first goal for Liverpool, and what a time to get it.
It's a wonderful stride from Joe Allen. Ball ricochets off Skirtle. Oh, and it takes a huge deflection off Jose Baxter. So unlucky. Bouzanis shifts his feet, but he can't get near it. Deflection takes it away from him. This closing 10 minutes, I think it's going to be like a siege in the Oldham goal.
It's Joe Allen's first goal for Liverpool. It's his first in the FA Cup as well. And scored with the help of a deflection of Jose Baxter. Matt Smith was clattered by Skirtle as the ball broke from that Downing corner kick. Now it's a time for the Oldham supporters to bite their nails and to fret and fidget. Under 10 minutes remaining. Liverpool going in search of an equalising goal. Taylor colliding with his own teammate. 2-goal Matt Smith. And that's the shoulder that he was getting treatment for in the Oldham goalmouth just a minute or so ago. Well, that could well be a dislocation.
He looks in real pain there, Matt Smith. The shoulders, really, really painful injuries. But not only that, once you first injure your shoulder, then it's really likely, when you continue to play football, that it's going to go again. It becomes a real vulnerable spot for any player. You see the pair of them in their enthusiasm to win the ball, colliding with each other. But he won't want to leave the pitch, Matt Smith, not with 2 goals to his name already. And with his side, got 10 minutes to see out for one of the best results that this football club has seen for a few years.
The interruption means, of course, that we will have a fair bit of stoppage time at the end of the 90 minutes. Matt Smith, who put Oldham in front, he put them 2-1 ahead just before half-time. And this is a blow for Oldham, particularly for their 23-year-old striker.
It is a huge blow because Matt Smith is the one who's been causing all the problems with his aerial prowess. He has put Skirtle and Coates through the mill today, competing for all the aerial balls, holding the ball up, bringing Baxter into the game, bringing Simpson into the game. Oldham will need that in this final 10 minutes to give them a bit of respite for what Liverpool are going to put their goal through.
Oldham want to get on David Mellor, a 19-year-old who is a midfielder but can play at the back. Squared in by Downing, met by Suarez, blocked by Byrne. Liverpool press again. There's been no chance for Mellor to warm up. He's already grappling with Steven Gerrard. Hoisted long this time by Downing. Mellor, who has come on in place of Matt Smith. Forced change for Oldham. Winchester was on in the first half because of the injury to Mchangba. Suarez. Helped on again by Joe Allen. Jose Baxter. Nicking the ball away off Gerrard. Sturridge.
That's the last thing that Oldham wanted to see. Jose Baxter pulling up there, and I'm not sure if it was a touch of cramp or if his hamstring went. But they're going to need all 11 men to see out these remaining 5 or 6 minutes.
Liverpool's have and have-nots. Next for Liverpool, a trip to Arsenal on Wednesday. Next for Oldham, a trip to Walsall next Saturday. Downing against Grams. 2 know each other from their time at Middlesbrough. Coates. Gerrard. In again by Henderson. Gerrard. Took a deflection off Byrne.
Oh, one deflection's tough to deal with, but if the second one went in, that would be Unbelievably cruel on Oldham Athletic. Again, Cliff Byrne putting his body in the way. Prevent Liverpool from getting an equaliser.
Mella again, close to Gerrard. Allen. Can't quite work the opening. Desperate defence again from Oldham. They're hanging on.
It's really good play from Joe Allen. He knows that the defender can't tackle him. He's in the box. So just keep yourself in between the defender and the ball. Try and work an angle to get your shot away.
Liverpool pressing for an equaliser. Buzanis flapped at that Shelby corner. Now he's got to deal with the Downing cross. And that was much better.
It's exactly what you want to see when you're a defender. Your goalkeeper come and collect the cross. I was just about to give him an excuse for punching the last one, saying that it's wet and slippy, but he's just shown there that you can catch crosses in all conditions. That's what his defence will want more of.
Henderson. Shelby. It's a terrific ball by John Joe Shelby. Robertson had a rush of blood somewhat. We'll have a word afterwards. All Jack Robinson's games for Liverpool this season have been in the cup competitions. Henderson, like Robinson, will be hoping his domestic season goes into extra time in the European Under-21 Championships in Israel next summer. England, one of the teams who've qualified for that. Everybody craning their necks to have a look across to see how much stoppage time we'll have. Mark Halsey is the fourth official on the far side. Wabada. Looking for Taylor. He hasn't had much chance to impress since coming on as a substitute.
He's not had a lot to feed on, but you see there his willingness to break off Liverpool's defensive line. Cliffy Byrne striding out of defence, making 1-2s through the midfield. I'm sure Paul Dickoff is hollering at him to get back in his back four position.
56 places separate Oldham of League One and Liverpool of the Premier League, the beaten finalists, League Cup winners last season as well, against Cardiff of the Championship. Liverpool's most embarrassing cup exit, perhaps back in 1959 when they lost out to non-league Worcester City. It's the last time they were beaten by a team more than one division beneath them. Gerrard! Thumped the crossbar. Buzanis may well have got a touch to that, the goalkeeper. So many times it's been Steven Gerrard to the rescue for Liverpool, and desperately close to getting the leveller at Boundary Park. 6 extra minutes we're to have. Liverpool buying plenty of encouragement. Here's Downing. Sturridge. Gerrard taking charge again. Henderson. In once more by Downing. Sturridge unable to connect properly. Hammered away by Wabada. Taylor's got a job to do up front now for Oldham. When he gets the ball, he needs to keep it. Downing again. Suarez. Outside.
What a strike from Steven Gerrard. I'm not sure I've struck a ball like this in my life. His impact has been fantastic. First of all, there's this. Fizzes one off the bar. I don't think Bazanis has a chance to get anywhere near that. And then just shortly afterward, it's a 70-yard raking pass out to Downing, so that Downing can get across in the box, and then Steven Gerrard's on to pick up the bits and sustain the attack. What a phenomenal player.
What a phenomenal cup tie. Liverpool searching for an equalising goal. Downing, who's now switched from right to left. Sturridge. And that was a wild miscue, and he knows it. There is still time. There is still time. Suarez suggesting there may well be a bit more as Buzanis loiters over this goal kick. It's suggested in recent years that the FA Cup has lost a bit of its lustre, but Liverpool have shown it full respect with the way in which they've set their team up today.
I think that's quite right that they should, because what other trophy are Liverpool realistically going to gain this season?
They still are in the Europa League, but they take on Zenit St. Petersburg when the competition resumes next month. It was a Liverpool season which started way back at the start of August. Qualifying for the Europa League.
Good defending from Jonathan Grounds again. I think he's been excellent today. Well, the whole Oldham defensive line have been outstanding, but he's stood up more often than not. He's been isolated 1v1 against either Sterling or Downing or Barini, and he's been more than a match for each one of them.
There hasn't been too much for those Oldham supporters to cheer this season. The last home win in the league was on the 24th of November. They've lost their last 4. They've won just 1 of their last 7. And this is a team, don't forget, that in League One have lost 7 of their last 8. Sturridge in behind Byrne.
See the grimace on Cliff Byrne's face there. Put every ounce of effort into this game, these Oldham boys.
Henderson. Coates. Robinson. Shelvey. Here's Downing. Suarez has made his move. Pass was played in behind Gerrard. Chance for Oldham to regroup again. Taylor won't give up the chase, tries to put pressure on Coates. And Robinson unable to skip away from Croft.
That's the problem when you captain your own half, who just the one man up front. There's no target to enable you to relieve the pressure. But when the ball does come back, Dan Taylor showed great willingness there to work the whole of the Liverpool back 4. To run fully 50 yards, shuttled across there to try and pressure the ball. Great work.
They're desperate for the final whistle. They're desperate for Oldham to make their way into the 5th round. Out by Croft. Croft was on loan at Oldham from Manchester City when Oldham put Manchester City out of the FA Cup 8 years ago. Now he's got the chance to be part of an Oldham Athletic team who have defied the odds here and beaten last year's beaten finalist.